Hi friends, and welcome to my channel, Friends from Far Away. I'm so glad you decided to join me here today into my little cozy space, because today we're going to read Am I the A-hole stories, and then me and you are going to judge, well, maybe just a little, or we might not have to. And with all that out the way, well, let's get started. So the first story today we have, Will I be the a-hole for reporting my sister? I, 25 female, want to report my sister Jessica, 31 female, for grooming a teenage boy, Bert, 16 male. Wait. So you want to report your sister Jessica, who's 31, for grooming a boy who is 16. Okay. But I need advice on what steps to take and confirmation I'm not the a-hole for seeing issues with this whole thing, since our father sees nothing wrong. Oh my God. Right, can I just say, before we even keep reading, I do not think that this age gap is appropriate, and I'll tell you why. Right, no, do you know what? Let's just keep reading, and I'm going to voice my opinion at the end because we're going to see what happens. For backstory, Jessica took their two children, a 4-year-old boy and 8-year-old girl, and left her husband last year. Very shortly after this, she met Bert, who was 15 at that time. Bert's mom is very neglectful of him, along with his younger siblings. I'm not sure of their ages, but they are younger than Bert. My sister has always had a bleeding heart, and she would let him sleep over on a couch at her 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. Okay. I immediately felt uncomfortable and noticed she and him seemed too close. Jessica insisted it was just her helping the boy out, and that he's like a little brother to her. Heard that before. Myself and my other sister, Anne, who's 37, both thought her hanging out with a teenager was weird, and she began going out to eat with him and her kids and began letting him drive her car despite his lack of even a permit. So not only you're hanging out with a teenager, but you're letting him drive without a permit or driving license with your kids at the back. Okay. Bert works, and so my sister began showing off things he got her, like new shoes and other small items. At this same time, our father walked in on them in the same bed. What the? Oh my God. Both swear they weren't doing anything, but that they loved each other. Yeah, so you're lying in the same bed, someone catches you out, and then you're like, no, we're just canoodling naked, we're just laying next to each other. With a 15-year-old, what the hell? Jessica cried, saying, I told him we'll talk about when he's wait. Jessica cried and told him we'll talk about this when he's 18. Right now, we're just friends. I honestly should have reported it then, but I have no physical proof, and it was hearsay of me being told by our father. She has recently moved the boy in with her to a different town, away from me and Anne. Neither of us know where she lives. We just know from S that Bert lives there, and that him and Jessica share a room, and she's seen them kiss. So she's heard from her little niece, who's 8, that told her basically they live in the one room, and then that she saw her mom kissing the boy, Bert. My niece is very talkative and will, like any 8-year-old, and will tell these things without being asked. I think this is why Jessica has begun leaving us with our father for 5, 6 days of the week. So she dumped her kid with a grandparent 5 to 6 days of the week just so she can have her new little relationship. So yeah, what do I do? Our father, 74, sees no issue with things, I guess because of his age, but everyone else think it's wrong, but no one seems to want to report it. I don't want my niece and nephew taken away, but I don't know what to do as she is doing the definition of grooming. Whoa. Right, so let me just voice my opinion now. So I find a massive issue with this age gap. So she's a woman who has 2 kids, and she's 31 years of age, right? The kid is 16 now, it says at the top, but he was 15 when they started, when the dad caught them in bed, he was 15. Number one issue, that's underage. Number two, why? It's not that I have an issue with the age gap. I think it's fine. Well, I say fine if someone is like in their mid 20s at least and they're dating someone in their mid 30s, because at least their brain is already developed or fully developed. They have some kind of life experience and they had other relationships that they can make the decision to be with a certain person even if they're older. But at 15, it's scientifically proven that their brain is not fully developed. They cannot judge situations as an adult would because they're not an actual adult. Like he can't even drive or drink. She has 2 kids, so it's so easy for her to manipulate him and for her to make him do things that she wants him to do. And if someone doesn't agree, like I feel very strongly about this. Can you imagine if it was role reversed, which it usually is? So if a man of 31, if there was a man who's 31 was started to sleep with a girl who's 15, like I think that's the issue. They cannot make proper adult decisions. They have no life experience. They haven't lived a life. And for someone who's 31, they already has kids. They've been in a relationship, they've been divorced, they know how things work, they know how to manipulate. They just have so much priority over their kid. It's just not equal. And obviously, he's got some kind of mommy issues if his mom is so neglectful to him and all his siblings. So clearly, there's issues there. That's why he's kind of, and also she's blatantly taking advantage of him. So she let him stay over her apartment because he had nowhere to go. But then she turned it into a relationship. It's like, did he even have a choice? Well, he wouldn't know that because he's a kid. Did she trick him because it was convenient for her? She's like, oh, he's so young. I'm just going to mold him into what I want him to be. That's the issue when someone's dating someone so young. They can mold and make the person that they want them to be, even though they might not be that person when they grow up or would have been as an adult. Anyway, let's just read the comments and see what people say. So, you need to talk with a criminal lawyer about this. 100% agree. I think, not even criminal lawyer, she could get advice, but I think she just needs to report it. Like, he's underage. Like, they were together from 15. And plus, I think, I'm not sure, but they'll be asking the kids, and like her niece is just walking around and telling people. So, when the reporter speaks to the kids, it'll be clear as a day. You should talk to her about it or him. He's young and doesn't see anything wrong with it. However, she knows better. Does her ex-husband know? I have to the point of frustration. Jessica herself sees nothing wrong with it. She said, I quote, it's better than 2 gays. What? She said, it's better than 2 gays. I'm bi, so this felt like a personal jab at me for speaking against it. Oh, so she's throwing shade at her sister, saying, oh, I better be with a kid than being gay. Like, what the hell? Her ex-husband is aware. Unfortunately, he fell on the path of drugs, which is what led to their divorce, so no one takes him seriously when he complains due to his drug use. He's called DHS and the police, but they went nowhere. Yeah, I think there'll be issues because he's using drugs. They probably wouldn't believe and think that he's being spiteful towards his ex. But I 100% think that you, as a sister, should report. Like, can you imagine, like I said, if it was roles reversed? Like, it will be reported 100%, or it should get reported. He's too young. He cannot make these decisions. And when he's older, hopefully, he'll see that you try to help. Anyway, just to wrap this up, I think you already kind of knew what you have to do by the way this story started. And I think you should definitely report, in my opinion, and just, yeah, report, and I think just stay out of it. Hopefully, it's going to get dealt with. Anyway, let's go to our next story. So, our second story is: Am I the a-hole for not letting my best friend make peace? Ooh, I love best friend stories. Me, female 29, best friend, female 32, let's call her Beth, has been with her boyfriend, who is male 50, let's call him James, for about a year. Beth met James about 2 years ago through our mutual friend, and after getting out of a horrible relationship, started secretly dating. Beth and I work almost completely opposite schedules, so we don't get to hang out often. I'm also in a relationship and living with my SO. Life gets in the way sometimes. We're adults, I get it. Since being introduced to James, I've hung out with Beth solo maybe 4 or 5 times. So in about a year's time, so they've been together for a year. Every other time we tried to make plans for just us two, James would ask to tag along. Now I got on with James pretty well, and he treated Beth really well and made her happy. So I didn't mind much. Sometimes you just want some time one to one with your bestie. Anyway, Beth's birthday was coming up a while back, and I asked her if she wanted to plan something. We start planning about a week out from her birthday. So after a day of back and forth with them planning, making plans, I get text that James is upset that I'm telling them what to do for her birthday. Turned out he was planning a surprise with a trip. Cool, whatever. Okay, fair enough. I guess maybe you should have maybe in hindsight, you should maybe ask him if he had any plans with her. So, I mean, so in case that he was planning, which he did. Evidently, the issue was deeper than me ruining his surprise. I guess he took to my nihilistic and self-depreciating sense of humor a bit too seriously and believed me to be mean and manipulative and doesn't trust me. Okay. He also had the issue with me for some time and never voiced it until now. I told Beth I would reach out to James so we could resolve this issue. We agreed to get together for coffee and talk about everything and smooth over any misunderstandings. That's nice. Okay, so you're trying to kind of make amends or just to kind of figure out what the issue is. Fair enough. At some point, something got said about James feeling left out and feeling like we're treating him as if he's temporary. I asked Beth not to mediate. James and I are adults and can work out our own issues considering James, considering me a friend, and vice versa. Meanwhile, my workload gets a little hectic and I'm also trying to resolve some issues with my SO. And I wound up having a cancel. So I wound up to having to cancel our coffee due to work emergency. Some time passes from the original issue being brought up, and I reach out to Beth because I had a good window of time off coming up for us to hang out. At this point, I have not heard from James on the issue, and I have been wrapped up in managing my own life and relationship issues. Upon asking her to get together, Beth immediately says her and James have been talking and they have resolved some things as she wants the three of us to talk. Right, so she wants to join in basically on the conversation. Evidently, James was upset that I cancelled our coffee last minute and didn't reach out to reschedule. I told Beth I wasn't comfortable meeting with just the two of them and I wanted my SO with me. Beth responding that she was sorry I felt that way, but she understood. Yeah, but I thought in a start that you said that you only wanted to talk to James on your own. And now you're saying you cancelled, but now you're saying you wanted your other half to be present as well. I feel like if you didn't feel comfortable, just the two of you, which you said you did, and you wanted your other half to join, I feel like Beth should have been there as well. So, like, ganging up on James. Does that make sense? Anyway, Beth responded that she was sorry and felt that she was sorry and said that she understood. I asked if she really did because I have been called the a-hole through this whole thing by James and she has gone out of her way to do something I specifically asked her not to do. I told her I didn't want her bringing the issue up again because it hurts me going through her for all this instead of dealing with him directly. I messaged James the same thing, and while I have not heard from James, Beth responding by indirectly calling me an a-hole for not wanting her in the middle anymore. So am I the a-hole for insisting that my best friend's 50-year-old boyfriend face me directly to resolve his issues with me and stop putting the responsibility on my best friend or myself? I feel a bit weird about the whole situation. So I don't know why he feels uncomfortable with you, but the fact is that he does, and maybe there were little slight hints or he has his reasoning. So his feelings are justified, I think. I also felt when you told Beth that you want to meet with him one on one, no issues there, fair enough. But then I also think when you did cancel on James, you should have rescheduled it. Because it kind of feels like you got cold feet or you didn't want to deal with it, so you dropped out, especially last minute. And I think if you would have rescheduled, it would have been like the situation would have got any worse. So yeah, I feel like you definitely kind of left him hanging. Also, you said afterwards, you said like you didn't want to meet with him one on one and you wanted to take your other half. That's weird. If you're taking your other half, then Beth also should have been present. So it would have been like basically like couples meeting up and resolving their issues. Yeah, I don't know, like I think you're part of the issue because so far you're kind of pressuring your friend not to be in the middle, yet she is. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe you should just kind of step back and chill. I kind of feel like you maybe want your best friend to be solely yours, but like as you know, like in any new relationship, she'll be naturally spending more time with James. And I think you should just take a step back and meet up and just let her know, like, listen, Beth, I've got this like Monday or like Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Pick a day, let's meet up and let her make the decision to meet with you one on one. I think that will be a nice kind of icebreaker to start with. So let's just go through the comments. 50 years old and acting like a child is a red flag to me. Yeah, but we don't know like what happened because he had, I think he had something. I think he was right to kind of be a little bit upset that like she didn't reschedule because it did look like she just got cold feet and she just canceled the whole thing. So she didn't even reach out to him. So I didn't see any red flags really from his side. Like, NTA, your friend is being isolated. Please tread carefully because James will twist what is said into his favor. Please be there for your friend. It'll be hard because she will take his side. Yes. So I think this comment I agree with the most. So he might be isolating her and she might not see it as she's kind of got those rose tinted glasses on in the new relationship. But I think that you should, like I said, take a step back and just give her choice. Give her a choice of days that you want to meet, so she kind of makes a decision, and maybe she feels that she's got control to tell you when she kind of on her terms when she wants to meet you. But you need to leave the door open for her to kind of to know you're still there for her. NTA, he's using the smallest things to make you look like a bad person and keep her to himself. Hopefully she gets her head out of it, and hopefully there is still a friendship there. Yeah, I think, like, I don't know, like, we can't really see the whole situation, like, we don't have all the details. But yeah, he might be isolating her, or he might be genuinely feeling like you just kind of, like with the birthday thing as well, like you didn't kind of talk to him. Like, usually partners do have plans with their whoever they're dating with. So that was a little kind of glitch, I think, in a relationship. So yeah, I think it could go anyway, but I think you should just need to leave the door open and let your best friend know that you're there for her, and give her a bit more control to kind of to meet you and see you in her own time. I guess that's all you can do. And that's it for today. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for staying till the end and reading these stories with me. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and I appreciate it so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.